Well, I've ran into a dilemma. I have to switch boats again. The story behind this is that this boat here, I bought this boat so that I could fit it in the garage with my wife's car. I'd sold my big Lund, and which I loved, but this made a lot more sense going into retirement, where we could both park inside the garage and because she didn't like having to park outside in the wintertime, and I don't blame her. So I built this boat. Some of you may have seen the video on this. I took this thing from a real crappy boat, an old white, you can see it right there in the pictures, to what you can see now. I'm going to tell you the pros and cons I've had with this boat and what my plans are for it. So let's get started here in the back. I love the engine. It's a 20 horse Honda. I picked this up in southern Arkansas. Took me about 10 to 12 hours driving in the rain to get it, but it was well worth the trip. And then I took this whole boat, and I turned it upside down, took the old paint off of it, redid this whole trailer while I had it off, completely repainted it, rewired it, put new tires, put new hubcaps, everything on it, or hubs. So it's a fairly new trailer. I took this area in here and I put a 9-gallon gas tank in here, which was really overkill, not doing me any good. I really wished I'd have stuck with a regular 6-gallon tank, because I'm afraid to fill this thing up, because I'm afraid it'll just put too much weight in the back of the boat. Over here, I put in a 150 amp battery, and it runs some of the lights and things and starts the motor. This is a 3-bank charger. Both of these I got from Lithium Hub. Thank you, Lithium Hub. These have been working great. I love this battery and I love this charger. All I gotta do is just plug it in, and it charges this battery and the one up front. Now, I've always liked these seats that I've got here. Problem is where I put it. Now, if you look, it's not really in a bad position, for, driving the boat here. It makes it easy to get to the handle over here. Problem is that this boat is so narrow that if I were to sit squarely in that seat, it's like the boat leans too much. So I've always had to, the few times I even tried to use that seat there, I always had to sit on half of it over here while I was driving anyway. So finally what I did was just pull that seat out and just sit on the thing wherever I wanted to, so I didn't feel like I was tipping all the time. I built that console. You can see here I've got a shut off, and I've got one that runs the headlights, the nav lights, and something else. Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe that thing, I don't know. Now I built this all underneath. If you were to watch the videos on all this, you can see where I, put this flooring in. I put aluminum, supports in there and some foam, and I run a lot of wiring underneath there that's running kind of mainly under this part here, and then comes into here from down in here where you can't see. Same thing up here, I built this board up here for this. There's a, in the video, you'll see how I framed it out. Put this board on it, and the care I went to making sure these boards don't rot out. I fiberglassed them and painted them with protective enamel. Great seat here. That's all been working pretty good. Of course, I added this contraption here from my Eagle Eye 9. Now, I paid $200 for this trolling motor, and then spent $470 something for this iPilot and installed it. Very easy to install. So I got this rig for a little under 700 bucks. Very happy with it. And of course, I went and built this really nice rod rack on here, as sturdy as can be. It mounts pretty good here. Got a video on that if you want to go see that. So here's the boat. It looks like a decent boat. It has been to some degree a decent boat. Now here's my dilemma. It didn't take me long after getting in this boat and fishing to figure out that I was going to fall out of my boat. And sure enough, it happened in either late February or early March. I fell out of it. I had boots on, everything. Boy, it was very hard to get back into. Now, it would have been all right. I wasn't that far off bank, but it was just kind of weird. It was 50-something degree water and kind of ruined my day. And right at that moment, I realized I'm not keeping this boat. So this thing's got to go. Now, I will say I've already bought another boat. And I've got to do some work to it to get it ready for the lake for my type of fishing. And I'll go over that with you in a little later. But for right now, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do to this boat, because I'm going to be taking a lot of stuff off of it to put on the new boat. And so I'm going to walk you through what I'm doing. All right, first off, motor stays. But down here, you can see I have these ratchet straps. I'm going to take these off and put them on the new boat, and then I'll replace these with just some regular straps. Definitely keeping my ionic batteries from lithium hub and my charger. And I'll show you the battery up front too. Those are coming out. And I will be replacing them with the battery that's coming from the new boat. Leaving the seats, the boat I've got has its own, the boat I bought has its own seats. It's got 3 of them, and that's all I need, and I don't want to mix them up with a different style anyway, so those are staying. My rod holders are coming out. I've had these since the very first boat build I did, and well, not the plywood boat build, but the first John boat build. And these were given to me by Victor at iFish as a gift for the boat project, and I've loved them, and I'm going to keep them. So thank you, Victor. He's got a great channel. You should go check it out. This is coming off. There's been times when I was looking at boats that had better electronics on it, and I would have left this on, but the boat I got, for being a great boat, doesn't have the best electronics on it. So this is coming with me, and the electronics on that boat will be put on here, which will be just kind of a standard fish finder, with depth finder. This coming out, obviously, this goes to my Eagle Eye 9 setup, and it will be installed in the new boat. The trolling motor, definitely coming, because the boat that I bought has a Power Drive 2 V2, but it's a 42-pound foot feed. It doesn't have iPilot or anything, so I'm swapping it out. And it's going on this boat, and this one's going on my new boat. As much as I would have liked to have taken my rod rack, it's not going to fit on the new boat. So it's going to stay here, probably be a selling factor for this boat anyway. I think I'm going to build another rack just like this one for my new boat. All right, I got this trolling motor installed. It's working pretty good. All right, this is the battery that was for the trolling motor in the new boat. And it was purchased 125, so it's just a little over a year old. And looks like a pretty good battery. It's 27 DCM thing or whatever. But it's gonna work out pretty good under here. You know, I was able to lay my other battery down because it was lithium, but this one's standing up and it fits perfectly under this door. You know, there's room under there if we can open it, but it also, you know, banks up against this and here, so when I put these boards down here, there ain't gonna be no slipping around, and there ain't gonna be no jumping up and down and all that nonsense. So yeah, this is gonna work out great. I was kind of worried about that. Okay, I've got this boat completely ready for sale. I've got the trolling motor switched out with the other one. Got its seats back in it. Got this little fish finder swapped out from the other boat that I've already bought. I've swapped out my batteries, front and back, and I've put new little rings down here for the straps, and I'm using the old straps off that other boat. So I've got it cleaned up pretty much. Everything's in fine working order. And this one's ready to sail right now, where my other one is still in progress. First thing on the new boat, I want to install the batteries and the battery charger. Here I've removed the side panels in order to hide the wiring. All right, I've got this in, and got these wires pushed to the side. Of course, this one will come out, you know, when I need to charge, but I believe I've got plenty of room to set my tray down in here and drop my battery in and just hook things to it. I'm now attempting to gain access to the current transducer wire in order to uninstall the current fish finder. I've been having trouble getting to my wires here to get my transducer. This is transducer wires that went to the little one that was up here, and it's hung up in these there's a zip ties, you know, here, and there was another one here. I had to cut it over here, and then I've got to get up here if I can to get to another one, and then I can get this out, and then when I get done, I can put this back on it and rivet it back on. Taking some of these pieces of, you know, where you join like tent stuff or whatever, it's got that little, you know, narrow down area that slides into another one here, which you see here. We're just taking it and expanding it all the way across, but what we're not doing is making it as small, because this is smaller at this end than we need it. So we want it to be tight once it gets to this point, and tight all the rest of the way up through here.
This may not look like much, but this helps out a lot.